Ryan sighed. Peering over at the border control agents, he wondered how much longer this was going to take. This was supposed to have been one of the most important diplomatic missions of his life, and at the rate things were moving, he was almost certainly going to be late. "Look," he said, tapping his watch impatiently. "It's 13:43 Universal Time, and I'm supposed to meet with Wuto Beedlehim in less than 20 minutes. Shouldn't I have diplomatic immunity from all this?" "I'm sorry, sir," one of the Durali replied, though Ryan privately thought she didn't sound sorry at all. Not one whit. "It's routine protocol. We need to make sure you aren't bringing dangerous substances into Drimmercury. Normally this wouldn't take more than 5 minutes, but something showed up on the body scan." Ryan patted his pockets absent-mindedly. Had he forgotten to take his keys out? Or perhaps it was one of the screws that had been installed during his latest knee replacement. Damn security measures. "All right." The Tudrali walked back around the scanner to where Ryan was standing. Ryan sensed a slight shift in her tone. Before, she sounded bored. Now she sounded much more alert, and there was an edge of wariness in her tone. That couldn't be good. "What's in your midriff area?" "What do you mean, my midriff area?" Ryan patted his gut. "The beginnings of a beer belly, I guess?" He laughed weakly at his own joke. "I'm not sure what you mean. I can take off my jacket and shirt if you like, but I'm sure nobody will want to see that." The Tudrali did not laugh. "Please do." Wriggling out of his suit, Ryan's ears burned with embarrassment. There he stood, bare-chested in the middle of the border control central. "Blair!" Another Tudrali ran over. "We apprehended another one of the human diplomats. They've got a large pouch of highly corrosive substance, and they say that it can't be removed. I suggest we close our borders to the human population for the time being. I do not know if their whole planet is in on it, but it appears that we have foiled an assassination plot." Ryan sighed again, the 5th time in as many minutes. His diaphragm was really getting quite the workout. The two Tudrali must be talking about Reynolds. Unfortunately, as part of the security measures, all cell service was disabled in the Drimmercury border control facility. Ryan and Reynolds has split up into different lines, so that if one of them finished early, they could nip off to Wuto and let him know that they were going to be late. The first Tudrali straightened, its single eye trained on Ryan. It was hard to stare down a Tudrali, Ryan reflected. You had to go cross-eyed a little bit for it to work. "So, what do you have to say for yourself?" Although this was his first diplomatic mission that had taken place outside of planet Earth, Ryan had been selected for this mission for a reason. He considered his next few words very carefully. "I believe we have gotten off on the wrong foot. Hello, my name is Ryan. I'm the first human you've ever met, correct?" He refrained from sticking his hand out and instead opted for the customary Tudrali greeting of snorting 3 times. The Tudrali eyed him warily. "And I'm Blair. I would say it's a pleasure to meet you, but you have yet to explain yourself. Please refrain from changing the subject." "Apologies," Ryan replied. "I wanted to make the point that our two species have never met before. I know very little about Tudrali biology, and it appears that you are unaware of how human biology works." "This is not true," Blair replied. "How dare you imply that we will be unprepared for a meeting of this scale?" Ryan winced. Apparently he'd added insult to injury. Perhaps he would resign from his diplomatic posting when he returned to Earth. It wouldn't be long from now. The Tudrali would surely unceremoniously boot him from Drimmercury at the rate at which he was going. "We had Chip Force read over the manual that was sent to us in human biology," continued Blair. "He gave us a brief presentation on your calcium-based skeletal system, your nervous system, and your rather failure-prone circulatory system. It seems rather risky to have a single heart supplying your entire body, but I suppose that evolution knows no master." "Is that all Chiffor's talked about?" Ryan asked cautiously. He didn't mention, I don't know, the digestive system? Or the respiratory system? After all, there are 10 major systems in the human body. Blair's eye stalk swiveled toward the Tudrali who had just run in. Said Tudrali looked rather guilty. "Chiffor's?" Oh, right." Chiffor's threw his appendages up in the air. "I may have skimmed through some sections, and I may have missed 1 or 2 little details," he admitted. It was such a long primer. I didn't have the time to go for all the chapters. Ryan was grateful that he was not at the other end of Blair's ensuing glare. If looks could kill, Chiffors would be 6 feet under. Or whatever it was that the Drajali did with their dead. This will be going on your file, Chiffors. You nearly caused an intergalactic incident. She turned back to Ryan. Apologies. Please continue. Yes, well, in order for humanity to obtain energy, we need to break to consume substances that are then broken down into smaller parts, Ryan explained. Once they have been broken down, we can then reassemble them into usable functional units. This was a vast oversimplification of some quite complicated processes, but it would do. Watching Blair closely, Ryan could see that she was following along. Our stomachs, located in our midriffs, are responsible for breaking down whatever we consume. As such, they need to be highly corrosive to degrade all sorts of organic matter. This would explain the presence of the acidic pouch that is showing up on the scanner. The acid never leaves that pouch, else it would be damaging to us as well. Ryan decided that heartburn could be a topic for another day. He didn't want to complicate things further. That sounds dangerous, Blair replied, but also believable. I will cross-check with what you said with the manual that we were given, and if this all lines up, you will be free to go. Ryan nodded graciously. It will be in the chapter about the digestive system. For all his calm demeanour, his nerves screamed at him to hurry up. He surreptitiously glanced at his watch as Blair ambled back to one of the cubes in the border control office. It was 13:56 Universal Time. After a minor eternity, Blair came back out. You're all clear, she said. Apologies again. Rest assured that Chiffors will be held responsible for this misunderstanding. 13:58 Universal Time. Ryan wasn't sure how long it would take for him to sprint from border control to Wuto Beedlenim's office, but he hoped that his respiratory system was up to the challenge.